So this is just a basic overview of getting started with Work Planner. As you can see, we're on the mobile view here. So if you're on a mobile device, this is currently the iPhone 14 size, but it should be more or less the same through any mobile device. So we start by coming onto the app, however you've got there, whether you're using the web version or the app itself from the App Store on Apple or Google. So we'll just sign in. I'll sign in with my account. And the first thing you're greeted with when you've signed up for a new account is setting up your business name. So if I just do Work Planner for mine, and then depending on your type of business, if you're a window cleaner, generally you have a round, but if you're another type of trade, then you might have a different setting, but we'll leave it as window cleaner for this. If you're coming from Cleaner Planner or Squeegee, you might choose to import existing data, but for the sake of this demonstration, we'll just add our first round and service. So what we'll call a round is we'll call it Grantham, that's the town I'm in, and the service will be window cleaning. The rest of the information can be left as default if you want it to. Most people working Monday to Friday. Marketing, it just means that we can notify you of updates and so on. And enable a default schedule for new jobs. If all of your jobs, for instance, are 4 weekly, then you can tick that and set them to 4 weekly. That can be overridden when you create jobs, so it's not necessary. For now, we'll untick it and we'll click Continue to Dashboard. So this is the dashboard. At the moment it's full of zeros because we don't have any data in here, but as you scroll down there's a lot of valuable information here. You can edit the layout, so if you want to turn certain ones off, if you don't want to see the total revenue for example, then you just click on the little eye icon and it'll hide it, or you can move the whole card by dragging them as well. So if we can click Done Editing, we'll just leave that for now. The important part that we're looking for is adding jobs and knowing how to schedule them and so on. So everything starts with a job. So we'll go to the menu at the top right. We'll go into Work, Jobs. We'll click the plus to add our first job. So each job will need a customer. We don't have any in the database at the moment, so just click the plus. And what I'll do is I'll use me. So if I do Mr. Alan Gaunt, and then on here, go to address. We'll use the address lookup, and again I'll start using my address. So you type your address, click search, and then you can just select the address. Use address, and that's really all you need to do on the customer. If you want to add contact information for mobile number and email address, so I can do alan@workplanner.co.uk, we can add that in. Adding a mobile number allows you to do SMS to the customer as well. So we'll just click create for now. So now we've come back to the job screen. We've got our customer automatically selected. If we had a customer that, let's say it was a landlord, he had his own address and we're cleaning another address for him, then we could click job address here and enter a different address against this job. But for the sake of this demonstration, we'll just use customer address. Then click your drop down, go to essential. So it's going to be an active job. If we click on select service, we can select window cleaning. You can also add a service there or add a service using the plus button there. So select service window cleaning, select round, we'll put it as the Grantham one. If you've got specific equipment you need for the job, you can use that here. You've got some other flags here: important, reminder required, invoice required. You can see what all of these do if you click the help at the top right of the pop-up next to the close button. Now for now we'll go down to pricing, and let's say it's a £10 price for this. You do have other options here that will set an opening balance or first price and then an alternate price. The one we'll look at now is scheduling. So let's say that it's due on the 14th. Don't worry about the time. Has a schedule, and we're going to say that this is a 4-weekly job, and then we just click create. So that's us now. We have a job in our system that's 4-weekly. It's a £10 job. So now if we go back up to the menu, go to Work, Planner, we can see our job is now scheduled for Tuesday the 14th. Now we've got a couple of options here. If you're wanting to do a list of work, then you can either use the planner like it is now and click the little plus button to mark the job as complete, or you can tick the job and click this button, add to worksheet. This is the normal way that you would go through it so you can process it properly in the day. So you add as many jobs as you want to the system and then add to worksheet. We'll just call it, we'll do this one as the 14th because that's when it's due. We're creating a new one. You could select an existing, add to worksheet. So now we can see successfully added a job to the worksheet, which we can then click through. So on this view, this should list all of the jobs that you're doing for that particular day. So let's say I've got to 14 Iron Way. I've done the job. I click the job, and now I can either choose to complete it, or if we didn't do it for some reason, we can click missed. But for the purpose of this, we'll click complete. We completed it. Let's say we'll do it on the 14th. And we say, just for that, just read the pop-up and it'll explain what it is. The customer did pay, so it marks it as paid. If we add a payment method here, and we'll just add cash, create. So now we click save and close. So this has now marked this job as complete on this worksheet. But this hasn't submitted it and made it complete for the day. So once you've done all the jobs that you're doing throughout the day, you click the three dots, submit worksheet. And what this does, it marks the job as done, it sets up the next schedule for it, and it submits all the transactions to the account. So we'll click yes, submit worksheet. We have no active worksheets now because we've done the existing one, so we could view it by clicking the filters and showing complete, apply. So this is the worksheet that we've already done, and we can click into it and see that it's already been done. So now if we go back to our planner and go to the 14th, we can see that job has now been done. It's no longer active to click and add to a worksheet. But if we were to skip 4 weeks ahead to the 14th of the next month, so let's just go to the, click that range, we can now see that Iron Way was last done on the 14th of July, and it's now due on the 14th, well, the 11th of August. That's 4 weeks later. Now, in terms of the job itself, if we go back to work and jobs and click into the job, we can now see there's transactions recorded against this job. We've got a charge for window cleaning, and we've got a charge for payment as well. So all the accounts are recorded there for us. Now, if we didn't have a payment, let's say, for example, if I just delete this payment line, just for examples, we can now see, if we go back to the details on the job, it should show a balance there, but because we've deleted the payment afterwards, it hasn't actually updated that. So we've got a charge against it. So what you do if you've got a job that's been done, so let's go to the planner, and I'm just going to tick this job as done again, but I'm not going to mark it as paid. So if I click complete, we can see when we click on the job that this job has outstanding £20. So to see all of our outstanding debt, what we do is we go to the main menu, click accounts, and go to debts. And this shows how long the debt's been active and how much they owe. When you get the payment through from the customer, you can click pay, you can say how the money came in and record a payment. Then when you go back to the job, you can go back to transactions and you'll see there that you've then got the payment come in for the amount that's been charged. So that's just a very basic overview of how to get started with Work Planner. There's so much more that it can do with invoicing and expenses and scheduled transactions, and you've got accounting reporting available as well. But just to get started, it's best just to get some jobs on there, have a play with it. If you do need to have a play and want to reset afterwards, then you can go to the menu. You can go to Settings, Profile, and you can reset your job data. So reset job data will allow you to clear all of the worksheets and all the jobs and the customers, so you can start from scratch if you've been having to play around just testing things first. So hopefully that gives you a good startup. Obviously, if you've got any problems, any questions, reach out to me and we'll get back to you.